Okay.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Songkao Ren.
Wake me up, huh? I enjoy your music.
Thank you. I just played a few measure of a Bach solo suite on my 5-string violin.
Okay.
So, yes, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm busy. Just off my work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 2
yeah.
minutes ago.
Oh yeah, 2 minutes ago. So let me introduce you to our viewers who is Songkao Ren is, and Songkao Ren is a teacher, education evaluator, and he has 30 years experience in special education, and he works in Queens, the New York City Board of Education, services. So he's gonna provide some of his knowledge and also his specialty and his experience offered to some of our friends and parents and students. And I think in this very crucial time, we need to talk about like how also like COVID-19 affected education, affected services, and also in general, what is special education services in New York offers, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel humbled. You can ask your question. So what's your first question you want to know?
My first question is, what is special education services?
Okay. Special education service is a range from, we're talking about two key words called the least restricted environment and the free appropriate public education. So the special education service ranging from the service the students need help. We're talking about the age-wise. In the New York City system, we provide the service from 3 years old until 21 years old. 3 to 5 years old, we call the pre-school education. Start from 5 years old to 21 years old. So some audience might be confused because students can graduate from high school at the age of 18. But for the special education law, we allow some students with a disability can extend their years 3 more years at the public school system. So you will see some students at 21 years old, they graduate. So the spectrum is so wide. Let's say the service, disability, we're talking about the 13 classification. They involve a lot of issue, referral, consent, placement, meeting. So the most important thing is the service. People will ask what kind of service we have. But first you have to find out, is he eligible for service? What kind of service he wanted? Let's for the simple words we say, well, the child has a problem in reading, in math, or maybe academic difficulty, and how delayed he is. So we have to evaluate. Not necessarily all the students need help or difficulty in the special education service. It depends. We have to assess the students. Does students qualify for service is another story. But you ask the first question, the service. So I can tell you that in the New York City public school, where available service is, the student can stay in the general education setting. That's in the same class with the service. What kind of service? Maybe only need related service. We're talking about another service, related service. What the related service mean? They need the speech, need a PT, OT, counseling. These are in general term we call related service. Maybe the students academically he's fine, but he has an issue with articulation, or maybe express himself, could put sentence together. If the test result indicate his qualified speech service, we should provide service to the students. Of course, the student have to create the IEP. These are students academically probably is fine with his peers. These are speech service in the general education setting. Some students might have a difficulty in walking, okay, has an issue. So we call provide a PT service called physical therapy in your city. All the parts have PT service. And some other students have the issue with a fine motor skill, cannot grasp the pen, and some is young as 5 years old can't type his shoes. Some students say I cannot brush his teeth properly, unbutton. It's all like an OT issue, and that's called OT service. Then we have another service called counseling service. You know why? The student has emotional needs, has a depression, anxiety, or tantrum, all kind of issue. So these are services we need to provide counseling service. This in general education setting. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then move on. If the students has a problem with academics, let's say he's a first grade student, he's functional kindergarten level or pre-K level. Should we put special students in the special class right away? No, let him put his general education classroom with his normal peers. Provide service called set service. Originally we called, maybe 10 years ago, we called resource room. What service indicate? The service is called resource help the kids extra help. Let's say he has a problem with the math. So the teacher, the special education teacher, can provide the service either in the classroom or after the classroom. Let's say pull out him time every day 1 period, whole week 5 periods. This is called set service. This all in the general education classroom. Then let's move on. Let's say the student is still struggling. Let's say he's 3rd grade level student, but he's functioning on 2nd or even lower. So in DOE, we could put these kind of students together with the general education student called ICT class in the DOE. Team teaching ICT class, that is the whole class as a 60% of students with no disability. We call normal, quotation mark. Another 40% the students with disability, maybe learning disability, speech impairment. So the maximum class, let's say the general case study class with 30 students in 4th, 5th grade, according to New York City board at the class size, and maybe you can have 40%, no more than 12 students with the IEP in that class. They call integrate team teaching. Two teachers. Yes.
Songkao, let me interrupt you a second. Can you move your screen a little bit this way so I can see more of you? Your
This way?
screen. You move your screen, your computer this way a little bit. Yeah, so can I see you? Can you look at me?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're looking at somewhere else right now. Sorry.
Now looking at you.
Yes,
Okay.
that's good. That's good. Okay.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Sorry.
So let's continue. All right. So we're not talking about the first setting is general education setting with the related service.
Mm-hmm.
Second is integrate team teaching. The students with the normal student together. There's a mix together, but we have 2 teachers. One special education teacher, another general education teacher. The team teaching. This second model. Third, if the case is really struggling behind grade level, we have to put all these students together in the special education class. Maybe in elementary, we have 12 students. All these students have an IEP. So there could be maybe 12 students, 1 teacher, or 12 students, 1 teacher, 1 parent, or 12 to 1 to 1, 12 to 1. That's all in the community school. Each school had this kind. They sometimes have a part-time, sometimes full-time special education class. Then this all these students in the same school, in the community school. Let's say the case is very, very delayed, significant challenge, has other issue. Let's say academically, socially, emotionally. These cases you go to called District 75 program in your city. Could be in the vicinity of your neighborhood. Usually should be a neighborhood. They have a separate location, building, whole building. Sometimes they put together with the community school setting together, but sometimes they exclusive for themselves. We call District 75 program. And usually these students in this program has a 12 months program. What does it mean? Usually we general education students, we finish the school June, last week of June, then we had total break for 2 months, right? But for these students, because they're afraid of regression, so the most not maybe should be 1 to 7 weeks in the summer, only 2 weeks in breaks for these students. So this called District 75 program is a 12 months program. Then after that, we can move on. After District 75, that's called New York State approved NPR school. They have a day school, they have a residential program. These students can go into, but not public school, but New York State approved. And who pay the money? DOE. Most students pay by DOE. How can you get into this program? Usually through the mediation and the impartial hearing. Then parents have to hire their own lawyer or advocates to get into, because you know what, this program very expensive. Tuition range from 20,000 to 50,000. You're not including busing accommodation. And some students need day residential program. They stay in during the day. They stay in the school. After school, the bus transfer to their different place for living there. They kind of stay at home. So they have a residential program there. There's 24 hours, usually once a week, once a month. The parents can visit them. This is another program. Then we go further. They call hospital and home instruction. These usually for the students with a medical or physical disability. Let's say has surgery or has other issue, medical issue, have to stay home for 6 months or 2 months. Then you cannot let kids stay home. You should provide service. And some severe situation, psychological, because we find some students have an issue with self-injury, suicidal, depression. So this case, we have to put this case in the hospital for the while. So total is a whole big spectrum for the special service. All right.
So is it these programs for all the New Yorkers? Like what the criteria is? Do you have to be in public school, or you can also enjoy this program if you enroll in private school?
Good question though, because we have the state, we have this country has a law. So usually the United States, they have a federal, state, and city, and they don't involve like a education plan or budget. Each state has their own textbook, and they have their own curriculum. But since we have a law that's called Public Education Law, PS 194, 149, 142, 1975, it's a landmark law. So federal government has a special education law for the student with a disability. That means we got a free appropriate public education, FAPE. What does it mean? That means, as your question you say, not necessarily the students only in the public school enjoy this service. The kids in the private school, we have with the CSC mainly job is to take care of these students, provide service, create IP for the students in the yeshiva school, in the Catholic school, or in homeschooling. Let's say sometimes we have the parents don't want to send kids home, to school, excuse me. They want instead teach the kids themselves. Let's say if the students were diagnosed by the CSC and find he is eligible to receive the service, but the kids do not go to school, instead homeschooling. Let's say he's supposed to receive OT service, speech service, SET service, the DOE will pay for this service. So regardless of what students are there, public school, private school, yeshiva school, all the students, So long your age from 3 to 21, if you have IEP, the DOE should provide service to the students in need.
Wow. So let's rewind a little bit. Usually, I ask my my guests their background, and also do do you want to share how you and I met? How do we know each other?
Dating back maybe 1960, the Cultural Revolution. Met your brother. You are follower.
Yeah. So we knew each other. We lived very close to each other in Shanghai. Songkao also was born in Shanghai. I was born in Shanghai, and Songkao actually, you actually, I remember you taught my brother English as a student. You taught him English a long time ago.
Old story.
Yeah. So and then you later on you were majored in English in Teachers College, right?
Normal China Normal University. Yeah. Teaching University.
Yeah.
And
then how did you ended up in this country and become a special education specialist?
You know why? Because I came to this country in 1985. First, I don't want to learn English anymore because English is a tool. It's not like a major. In order to survive this country, you have to. First, I got like the 85. I don't know any major whatever. So long they provide scholarships. So I came to this country 85 at Western Illinois. I don't know any university. So my friends helped me with the scholarships. I was at that time semester program in sociology, major in demography, like population control. And after that, I go on for my PhD program. I was accepted by Virginia Tech 1988 to pursue my PhD in demography because China is my population, one child, one family, whatever. And the professor very interested in my thesis, my master thesis. So he already called me, emailed me, and asked me to be his assistant, continue this research in that regard. At that time, 1988, my friend from New York City called me. So, Songkao, why you go for a PhD? What's your purpose? As well, I want to maybe be a professor in that area. And he said, well, you have to think about second thoughts. You want to get a green card first, or you want to pursue a PhD? As what does it mean? New York City is now hiring teachers, regardless your visa status. Because I'm a student visa. He said the most important thing, get a green card first, because this is a good opportunity. Because you had experience in teaching China, and your transcripts, they will review your transcripts, and you will get the temporary teaching license right away. You already have 6 credits. All you need to do, get into that field profession, and they help you how to get master's degree if you like to continue in that regard, in that profession. Get the green card first, then you can pursue your PhD. Then I thought about it. Maybe I discussed with my wife, my friends, because they said PhD is more important than green card teaching assistant. Finally, I changed my mind. Yeah, green card is easy.
More practical.
Yeah, it's a free ride. It's a free ride, right? My friend said, you got a green card because DOE, because at that time in your city, all the subway, public transportation in your town, they say, teach New York City, 1-800 teach New York City, everywhere. But you know why? Because they have a lot of majority bilingual students. At that time, bilingual program expansion. So they that need of the students, teachers, know 2 languages, like Chinese or English. So bilingual education, that help us. So no matter what. Of course, I took the test. I gave up my PhD dream back to New York City. Took all kind of tests, oral tests, written tests, English tests. So the funny thing is, I should let you know, because I'm there for bilingual special education. So you need to take how many tests? Yeah, English usually like a GRE test, write composition, oral, written, Chinese same way. And 2 months later, DOE told me I failed test. I said, what test? The Chinese test. I said, what? I said, excuse me.
Oh my God.
Chinese is my home language. I'm an ESL student myself. How can I fail my own motherland?
Yeah.
And then they say you can appeal. So I
Mm.
went to DOE, and that's at Court Street, 65 Court Street. And they opened the file and look at it and say, well, your handwriting is not it's not complicated. It's simplified, not eligible. You're right.
Mm.
You know why? Because the proctor, that's the one, she's from Taiwan. So we have two different versions. More complex character as opposed to Chinese character is a simplified. She don't know what the simplified character means, so she failed. So I said that's not fair. Next time, so actually they gave me second chance. They said next time you be careful, write neatly, and try as much possible to use a complete Chinese character.
Mm-hmm.
So the proctor will, because at that time only Taiwan people from Taiwan, they settled down here already in New York City. So the qualified teacher profession is from Taiwan, not from mainland China. Probably we are the first, maybe, from the mainland China become the teacher. So after a few more years, get a green card, and then I thought about maybe change your career. And because in the classroom, the first 5 years dealing with the students with different needs, and then we opened and the DOE has opened the door for us. Said, well, we need the evaluator. So I took the test, finished the course. Of course, you finish by at that time you're part-time, a full-time teacher and a full-time student. You know why? Because DOE gave you 3 years time to fulfill the master degree in special ed. Because if you want to get a permanent license,
right,
the 3 years is temporary license. After 3 years, if you continue temporary license or per diem license, they might not hire you. So give you 3 years, finish your degree, and we have to take a teacher test, a nationwide test, and get the certification and get tenure. So it's a long story short. So finally, I stay in this profession for another 25 years. First 5 years, I thought maybe I should quit, to change another profession. But since I'm out of the classroom in the evaluation position, I get more and more like it. This is my profession because I know more. Especially, I don't have no idea about it, especially before.
Yeah. So we have our audience member Peter. He's asking, here the question: is the New York City DOE providing services differently to special education students during the COVID-19 school shutdown? Do you have any comment?
That's a good question because I just read the article. Because I have a meeting every day. I'm from CS perspective, usually for the students with disability, the not private school, NY, your state approved. Of course, you're talking about now to call remote learning, virtual learning. Some service like a PT service, OT service, speech service, they can through remote learning as well, but it's different. And the mandates is not strictly enforced. It's very hard for staffing because New York City already, how many students? 1.1 million students in New York public school system, and around 20% of these students receiving special education service, maybe 200,000 roughly. New York City Board of Ed have been receiving a lot of lawsuits in partial hearing every increasing, soaring. You know why? Because so many students need help, and we are shortage in this service provider. And also another question: if the student eligible for service, they have an IEP for individualized education program, and the IEP is a legal document. By the law, you have to adhere, you have to abide by the mandate. Let's say speech 3 times a week, PT how many times a week, and the service. So I heard this service has been affected, but not like in the class setting. But they try their best to provide the service.
Yeah. So what do you what's your prediction? Like, what is the plan for the school's already? Is this school already over? Public school?
Now,
No.
until June 20, according to
Trying-
calendar, to be June 26 or 24, the last
Yeah.
week of the Friday.
Yeah.
That's for the school is over. For this year, definitely is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
But we are not quite sure September. The physical building is open.
Yeah.
But remind you, I'm talking about special education service. We are
Mm.
talking about District 75 and other NY and New York State approved program. They're all 12 months program.
Mm.
So they will continue the service through August. So I have a meeting with every day. I have a lot of the annual meeting with his parents. They ask the same question, Mr. Ren, do you have any clue as to when the summer school will be open physically or still continue like a virtual learning or remote learning?
Mm.
Because I cannot provide them with the answer. This is a governors have to ask a governor, as a mayor, as a chancellor.
Mm.
But my experience, I think probably will continue remote learning. I don't think the kids come back to the class setting because there's a lot of social distancing, how we provide a safe environment for these kids with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough situation. Yeah.
So, from your experience of being in this field for a long time, now I think, do you have any messages for parents? Because being special need as a child is difficult. A lot of time, I think being parents of special need children are really challenging. So, you want to comment on that, like how difficult it is, you I mean, segue to your own. You are a father and I'm a mother. We're lucky, to have our child or our children so-called pretty normal, and
Yeah.
but for parents who are having challenged children, they must be they must have go through this whole spiel of how to deal with. And do
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, so what
Yeah.
do you?
You know what? You know what? Because I've been working with DOE for 30 years. And also I'm a person dealing with after school. I'm also dealing with evaluation for the students with the kids from 0 to 3 called early intervention. My message to these parents is that the earlier the better to detect these kids seeking for help. Don't feel shy. Of course, sometimes the parents will. I met with different group of parents, Asian or other parents, because for Asian parents, my personal experience, they don't like the kids being labeled because in your city or across the country, right now, 13 classification. If you fit into the
13.
13 classification,
Mm,
you will be eligible to receive a service. Otherwise, you don't have service. Let's say if you diagnosed as autism,
mm,
deaf-blind is another issue. There's a physically
mm,
learning disability, emotion disturbed, orthopedic impairment, speech impairment, all kinds of classification. We have the guideline how to put these kids into the service. First, you have to find classification for learning disability, how far from the norm. So for the Asian parents, I should think well mentioned that they don't like kids being labeled. They feel the child's LD, they'll impact. Because I had experience used to evaluate the child as early as 3 years old
mm,
before they move on to the CPSC.
mm,
The parents' first question is, I know my kid has an issue that cannot speak until 2 years old.
mm,
Very delayed. 2 years old, you should have the words, right? Do a milestone for each parent. The guide milestone. You can walk and talk. How many words you have an estimate. You can check the Google. Each from 1 month to 10 months is like I have a chart for different chart. This is the one. Tell
mm,
you, okay,
mm,
each one walking. That's all 5 areas.
mhm,
And funny thing, the parents, even as early as 2 or 3 years old, the first question to me is, if the case has a service, will impact on his future career, or can he go to college? So my first question, my first answer to parents is, now he's 3 years old, to college is 18. You figure too long, of course you have long perspective for your child. Let's fix the problem right now, right?
Yeah.
Label sometimes is not important. The most important is give the kids the help it needs. And we, so as you mentioned, so-called normal. Actually, all the kids have the issue, not necessarily need a service. Really, you know why the kids may be academic pretty good, the socialization skill has a problem, right? And the other emotional is a lot of big issue. You know why? Because academically you get a competitive environment. I have a parent that came to my office. Her son was in Bronx Science. Okay, pretty good high school.
Yeah.
It's very competitive. Because you know why? And then because in his elementary school, he's a #1 top student. When he moved into the Bronx Science, he's feel lagging behind is because all the kids are very, I should not very smart, but very competitive.
Yeah.
So he feel this, he feel like the pressure, and finally he stay away from school, stay home, don't want to go to school anymore, and sent to psychiatrist, and then they say he's emotional depression, and take anxiety, and he sometimes want to commit suicide. Take suicide thought. So stay in hospital for a while, and the parents so worried about that. They asked me, well, what should I do? I give the parents advice. I said, well, if kids feel very pressure in this comparative school, why don't you move the kids to the local, your neighborhood school?
Yeah.
Let him survive, let him fly himself. You know what the parents answer? He said, well, everybody in my neighborhood know he's going to Bronx Science. If I put him back in the local school, he will lose his face.
Yeah.
He'll lose face.
Yeah.
I said, no, you should never put your head ahead of the kids' well-being. Let it get adjusted.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So during my 30 years in the VOE and with the parents, well, I feel,
Yeah.
the kids with special needs, it's big challenge, you know.
Right.
They separate themselves. They do all they can do. And I have a lot of kids, parents, they have the kids with autism. They're in another low spectrum. They cannot get diploma like most normal students, because cognitive disability, they cannot learn, they cannot speak. Even he's 20 years old, the language skills is very limited, and the self-help skills is very limited. We're talking about other kids. Every day I'm dealing with these parents, and these parents, most of these kids are children or kid or that whatever is 20 years old. The classified as autism. They're on the other end of autism, so it's a big challenge for parents. But you know what? I know from these parents, and they never give up. They never give up. They dedicate their whole life, their time. Sometimes the kids make small and not all. Sometimes maybe he will tell Mr. Ron, my kids can speak one sentence, and he feels so happy about that. Yeah, I really feel these parents are very not easy for them. Right. I appreciate their efforts. They give up. Yeah.
So when people think of a while ago, people think of special education, and they would think special education means people have a learning disability, learning, problem in learning. And so tell us a little bit more about people in special need. Is not only that people has problem in learning disability, right? Like, it covers a lot of different areas.
Yeah, because sometimes the student maybe have a very good, we sometimes see disparity. He might be very good in reading. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yeah. I hear
Okay.
you.
Very weak in math. Or you have found the student have a dyslexia,
Mm,
reverse side,
mm,
comprehension issue. And these kids might need a special program, not necessarily a special class. In the general education setting, but with a special program that will encourage school, we are now using Wilson to help this kid decoding. Yeah, student has all kind of program, issue, problem. But in the public school, they might have more resource. They have a pull out. This case maybe not labeled for special service. They have another tier one, tier two, whatever program available, or reading specialist. But in the private school, you know why they do not have this much resources. We're talking about like a yeshiva school or Catholic high school, Catholic elementary school. They do not have these resources. They are the class teacher. Sometimes they're a specialist. So the only service they can asking for maybe is a set service. So DOE will provide the service to them sometime after school. Yeah, because they don't have a provider there. In New York City public school, almost all the public school they have a SAS teacher or this related service provider. Not necessarily every day. It depends upon how many students you at the school. So if it's a big school, they have full time or the related service provider. Yeah, sometimes parents come to us because kids have an issue with the ADHD as early as a kindergarten. Now is maybe is a overdiagnosis. Every kid's ADHD, a short attention span. It is true, yeah. We can put it into like a following the category learning disability, but sometimes we call other health impairment. But you have to go to pediatrician to diagnose if the child really has a high ADHD. Now it's so common in public school or in private school. Sometimes see the kids as early as 5, 6 years old, they start take medication for focusing, for regulation. But you know what? There's another two groups as opposed to taking medication and not taking medication. For the Asian parent, particularly Chinese parents, they don't like the idea have the kids as early 6 years old taking medication.
yeah.
Sometimes the old ADHD can overgrow that when getting older, maybe more focusing. But
Mm.
this is a lot of issue. Yeah, ADHD and cannot focusing. Yeah, and
And tell us a little bit about excuse me. You have published a book recently. Tell us a little bit
oh,
about that.
that book is actually is 8 years ago. This the book is not here. It's for Chinese textbook. This is the book. Yeah, yeah, the special ed.
特殊教育发展模
Yeah,
式。
yeah. That was 8 years ago because in China they don't have a special education service. The only service they have is blind and deaf. If you're blind and deaf, you go to the blind so-called 聋哑学校.
嗯
Otherwise, they don't have a learning disability, speech impairment. First, they don't have assessment. They don't recognize these difference in LD or speech impairment, other issue. So they group the students into the generated population because they all the resources go to this elite. Let the kids go to college. So if the kids lag way behind, the only thing they can do is repeating. And also in China, they don't have a public or government funding for the students, particularly for autism. I know quite a few my friends, whatever children, the only they can go to is a private school or by the church. So far the Chinese public education system in the whole country they do not have a school for the kids with autism. So in that sense, and they don't have a department for special education. They only have general education. So started 2013 or 12, they somebody, I think professor or this PhD, got a PhD here in the United States or maybe around the world. in special education. They back to the country to China. They sat together, have a conference called School Education Committee. Somebody raised this, so well, let's set up a new department tailored to the needs of special ed needs. We have to put research, put funding to, and also we should open the department for special education department in some Chinese normal university. So with this idea in mind, they established a committee, maybe 20 people, all these professors. Most of them got degree from Japan, uh, United Kingdom, some from United States. So they have a PhD in special ed. They want to have a do some breakthrough pioneer work. And so education department from China, they agreed for this proposal and provide them with the funding. And they total to get 23 textbooks to be used for these students interested in major in special education. This is the first time in China. So, but some reason, because I'm from University of Normal China, Normal University, the one of the major compiler, he happened to be I was I'm in the New York City working in the New York public school system. So through whatever channel, he invited me to compile this book. And so I'm lucky to be joined them. And the book was published by Peking University in 2012. And this is a textbook, a lot of questions. Basically, the book is about introduce about how United States implementing special education service, how they do assessment, what service available for these kids, and all kinds of things about special. They are very interesting about this, and they have a question
Is this a textbook for university or it's a
for
book?
for university.
Okay.
For like because there's 4 year, they have 20 books. There's a core textbook. So basically, they're using maybe this for selected course, not mandatory course. There's a 23 textbook used for these major. So I'm lucky enough to make my contribution, and they're using this book as a textbook.
Yeah.
Only students in this major know this book. It's not like a reading book. It's not novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
The second, they have a reprinting 3 years ago. Since that means more universities open this department for the student interested in this major.
So what is your story? May I ask you? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Is that you have a very smart son, and how did he get into Hunter?
I'm not smart.
Supposed to be Hunter. Wait, he went into 5th grade or 7th grade?
In 7th grade.
Okay, same as Sean.
Yeah,
so
Sean also is Hunter students too.
Yes, you want to talk about that a little bit? Like, what's the myth about Hunter, and what is good about it?
I think this Hunter is pretty good because most of New York's, the parents know the Hunter, particularly the parents in Manhattan. They're small, structured, to provide more rich curriculum for the students. Good things about Hunter is you have to sit for testings as early as 6th or 5th grader. They're 6-year program for the Hunter student, not like a Stevenson. You have to go to high school. Brown science is all called specialized high school. Hunter, you can start from the junior, and I think it's good point about Hunter. You know what? They're small structure. The teachers very interact with the parents, and because I like to put myself in Hunter. You know why? Because some kids go to Hunter after 2 years, they can go take the special high school test, go to Stuyvesant or Brown Science. I know the Stuyvesant is pretty good as well, particularly for the science. You know, that school is too big, 800 students. and Hunter is small, like a family. So every time if my son skipped the class, the teacher will email me. Yeah. Oh, about that, your son skipped the class. Don't complete the homework. So it's a continuous loop, and they email you all the time. I'm not quite sure the other school, maybe the same teacher do the same thing, but you like a small family. And also for graduation, for go to college, the constant ratio is smaller compared with the Hunter or compared with the Stevenson Bronstein. The, I heard of a friend from the Stevenson, one counselor take care of 100 or more than 100 students, but Hunter is maybe 20 or 50, it's very small ratio. So you can keep contact the guidance counselor. Okay, based on this, my son's credential, what's your suggestion? They will talk to you. Not one time, not two times, many times. You can call, you can email. So I think it's a very good school, and also it's good training. Because my son lives in Queens and he goes to Manhattan. He's still complaining right now. Oh, Dad, 3 hour round trips, take subway. I said, you compare with the college life, oh, much easier. College is much easier. Hunter life's terrible. 3 hours on the train. Yeah,
Oh my God.
one way. Yeah,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot for these people, for the student living in Queens. And
Yeah.
I know some parents will have to save the time for the traveling. They
They drive.
they drive or they rental or they purchase small apartment close to Hunter.
Mhm.
But we can avoid it. I let him train. I said, okay, this is a good tough test for you,
Mhm.
physically and mentally. So
Yeah.
he still remember, oh, if you can survive Hunter, you can survive anywhere in the college. And the college is pretty easy right now. Because after 6 years tough life,
Yeah.
academically and physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he got up very early and came home very late because after curriculum have to play sports, whatever.
Yeah.
Usually by time is 9 o'clock already.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I pick him at the train station. Then
Yeah.
he said, "Dad, set time clock for half an hour. I need to prepare for my exam for tomorrow." So sometimes after night, half an hour later, I wake him up. Why you wake him up so early? I'm still tired. Okay, that's there's another time I so half an hour too later. I don't wake him up. Then he can wake up. You don't remind me. I have to test tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I like a Hunter. If I have a choice between Hunter Stuyvesant, I don't want to say for my son, it's
yeah.
better put into
Mhm.
Hunter because
Yeah.
more control, more supervised. If
Right.
he's in the Stuyvesant, he got lost already.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's I'm very lucky. I think it was
You're
like
lucky too. You have your son Sean as also
yeah,
Hunter.
that's thanks to you because I didn't even know like how and what to do to prepare for the test because I did not know enough about Hunter
Uh-huh.
before his exam. And then you said, well, why don't you just go get a book, So I went to the library, got a
Yeah.
10-year-old book.
Yeah, I was very impressed because most I know my friends or kids, daughter, they like go to coach a session, go to
Yeah.
private school, not private school, like
Yeah.
after
Workshop.
Sunday. Yeah,
Workshop.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
have trained like a year before or 6 months
Yeah.
before, like
No,
a very
Shannon.
intensive
Yeah.
training, prepare for the exam. But your son is very smart, just one book and pass the test. He's
Yeah.
genius.
He got an old book, preparation book from our
Yeah,
library and did some tests on that
yeah,
and he did terrible, but then
yeah.
he still went. So yeah, he passed the
Yeah,
test.
that's why because he has like a small mom. That's why get a gene. If the son's small, maybe mom is very small. It's also
Yeah.
the genetic reason. Oh,
Yeah.
talking about testing, I forgot to mention
Yeah.
about the testing
What?
accommodation in the special ed. We
Mm.
call testing accommodation,
Yeah.
extra time. This is
Mhm.
another big component in the
Mhm.
IEP.
Yeah.
All the kids with the special needs,
Mhm.
not necessarily all, but actually 95%. They
Mhm.
have on the IEP, they call individualized education program. On the one section, they call testing accommodation. What a test accommodation mean? Let's say right now the city testing on time. Before, like 45 minutes for math, 90 minutes for what? The kids with special needs usually allow have extra time, time and a half or double time. Question read to them, and sometimes the test accommodation breaks because kids has a focusing issue, ADHD, like 3 minutes after 20 minutes. And the separate location, special equipment, and that's all test excuse me. But having said that, that means the kids with a no IEP, normal IQ, have no extra time. Yeah, you can do it. You can do 504 in DOE. 504 is another accommodation. That's for the students with no special needs. But all you need to do, download the form from DOE 504, go to the pediatrician, list what anxiety is. Some kids has a test anxiety. Whenever I have testing, go to the bathroom all the time. And very like I see the kids, yeah, go to the bathroom 3 times. Because why? Kids feel so nervous or pressure. So if you have 504 and approved by the school, by private school or private school as well, you can have extra time. It reminds me, a year ago we call testing scandal nationwide. This man is called Singer because the rich family pay a lot of money for this testing. You know why? They go SAT testing for the extra time, get a good score for the university. You know that, right? Why they publish a lot of Hollywood movie star, whatever involved, pay extra money. You know why? Just for the sake of their kids. When they get testing, they get extra time, individualized. Somebody do some cheating, like whatever. So I read the New York Times a year ago. It say the disparity between the well-off family and the underprivileged family is so large. You know why? Rich family, they can use their money, pay their tutor, pay testing. The neurology evaluation, whatever testing costs $6,000, sometimes $10,000, fully comprehensive examination or testing. Then you can, with this testing, you can submit the form to the college board asking for extra time. So most people take advantage of this. Not all the parents know that. I know Albert was in the Hunter School. He told me his friend has extra time for testing. I said, why? He said, well, dad found extra paper, and whenever we finish testing, he can continue testing. And 10 years ago, I read an article from I think it's from the New York Times. They're talking about one college student. And they went to college. She's in Princeton University. She had a test accommodation. Every time to testing, she's separate. 2 times, double time. But she asked for 3 times. So the school denied her request. So she went to the court asking for extra time. Then you talk a medical student, if you want to sit for testing, you go to New York, 3 evaluation and everything, diagnosing his ADHD, she's ADHD, you can go for extra time for testing. So this whole, test accommodation is a big issue in my IEP meeting because parents ask more.
I run into I run into issue like this because I taught in college for 15 years, and every semester I will get like 2 to 3 letters from 2 or 3 students, and the letter just said they need extra time to test. So I will have to, because in my teaching it's kind of complicated because I have to give the first 40% is music listening example, and then the rest is writing. So for me to they have to go to another location, like to be given the test by student service. So it's always extra work for me. I have to prepare the student service to how to give them test. You know
why? Because
they are fine. Some of them
I know.
they don't seem they
You know,
need it.
I know the kids from private school start from elementary and to college,
Yeah,
continue using rely on test accommodation. You're
yeah,
talking about a Catholic school, the kids graduate, no
yeah,
IEP, DOE finish, but they
yeah,
need the exit summary. In
yeah,
the exit summary, I do the exit summary meeting for the kids. That means no service for the kids, for the
yeah,
students. But the
yeah.
parent need accommodation for on the exit summary.
Mm,
With this paper, they'll
mm,
submit to the Student Service Learning Center.
yeah.
Most universities will accommodate,
Mhm.
they
Right.
will accept the accommodation to the testing.
Right.
They call
Right.
504 accommodation for the student with no special needs. But for
Mm,
IP students, definitely will get this service, where
mm-hmm.
this accommodation is a
Yeah.
big, big issue.
There's
It's
no
a
such
big
thing, huh? In China, huh?
no. 45 every equal, right? No matter what. That means you cannot compete, that's fine.
Yeah.
But for this with all this accommodation, you talk
Yeah.
about medical student.
Yeah.
If this for exam, you can allow to have them more time.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
have vision issue, of course you have definitely. If you have
Yeah.
hearing issue, definitely issue, you of course you will definitely you will provide with this service with this
Yeah.
accommodation. Yeah, it's
I,
not
I I
fair.
think I think that overall, compare Chinese system and America system, I think there's definitely more humanity in
Yeah,
United States,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's- People have more freedom of choice or freedom of enjoy different
Sure.
services than China. Part of the reason maybe because it's too many people, so they have to compete.
Yeah, especially actually stemming from the civil law long time ago, the veteran,
Yeah,
everything started until
yeah,
come to the point 1975, they
yeah,
implement the law for all the students.
yeah,
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 so it's a challenge in their
yeah,
challenge profession, but like it
yeah,
and enjoy my work right now with the
yeah.
parents. Every day I heard another story because
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of meeting from
Yeah,
CS perspective, and
yeah.
every touching story.
Mm-hmm.
I share the parents' frustration,
Yeah,
and particularly for the autism kids at this
yeah,
moment, parents should
yeah.
told me the kids uh, get used to the life. They have a set life. They like every
Uh-huh.
day 5 o'clock waiting for the school bus coming. But now they
Yeah,
have no bus. They stay at home, and
yeah,
the kids has a hard time get
yeah,
adjusted. Music
yeah,
for the student with autism, and it's very hard. The kids has breakups,
yeah.
and yeah, it's a lot of
So
yeah.
yeah.
Everything is a touching story. Everything I share sorrow. I feel and
Mm-hmm.
cry for them, laughing with
Mm-hmm.
them. When the kids get
Yeah,
tests, oh, Mister, my kids get a develop this skill. Yeah, I
yeah,
followed this case for a long time
yeah.
from
Wow.
history perspective. Yeah.
So, we're almost time, and now, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I have you thought about the musical therapy for the student with disability? That's another for music
Yeah,
therapy for
no, no,
autism
I
kids.
think music. Yeah, I don't know enough about music therapy. I'm a
Oh,
musician, but I
okay.
think yeah, music therapy is probably a great tool to facilitate people have learning disability, or people are emotionally traumatized, or so I think a music therapy is a great idea to do that. I don't know exactly what it is. I would imagine to work with your patient, use
Hmm.
music,
Yeah.
use rhythm, use emotional sort of a connection,
Hmm.
um, to to I guess facilitate to
Yeah.
make people's life better.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's very
And your
practical.
profession.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a
yeah.
great musician. So
It's a great. I would love to look into that. So let's do a rapid fire. Then we finish.
okay.
Rapid fire is my girlfriend. When I did with her, uh, it was the first time a few weeks ago. So, by the way, you guys, we have some audience members here. So, um, I do a conversation with specialist, with a friend, with artist every Monday and Wednesday. This is the 10th one, I believe. Yeah.
Good job.
So, and then if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do. I would love to see more people subscribe me, and I will provide more videos every week. What else? And so let's do a rapid fire to Songkao. Okay, this is no rehearsed.
What?
All right. So okay. So when I ask a question or when I ask a really short question, you answer really quickly. Okay, that's rapid fire. All right.
Small
So
response.
yeah. Okay. So your favorite type of music?
Beethoven, classical music.
At home, are you the cook or are you the eater?
Either.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Last book you read?
Bible.
Good answer. What's your favorite Netflix film?
No, I don't watch. I don't see any movie from the Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. You don't do Netflix.
Yeah. I don't subscribe.
All right. So a country you want to spend your next vacation?
Switzerland.
City you want to revisit?
San Francisco.
Profession you want to be other than in education?
Traveler. Traveler guy. Tourist guy.
That's funny. Okay. So how do you become not how do you become sane in this COVID-19? What is your method?
Stay home, stay healthy, and be connected with your friend. Be happy, be positive, and we'll walk through eventually. And now things getting better. Be patient.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much, Songkao.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time. Taking me
Yeah.
on the first time experience. I don't know whether from 1 to 5, what score you have for me?
Oh, you're definitely 6. And yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much, and
Thank you.
thank you for sharing your expertise, sharing your
Oh, sure.
knowledge with
Yeah.
us,
With
and thank you
pleasure.
for thank you for always take care of me. You're the very few people in my life that you actually calls me regularly just to check on me, make sure I'm okay. Really,
Oh,
seriously. Yeah.
pleasure.
Not
You made,
everybody does that to me.
you
So
made my day.
I
By
really
changing the word.
appreciate. Yeah. And thank you to also to be very good, to my family members.
Yeah, because I think know each other for how many, 6 or more than 50
For a
years.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah,
For a long
time. So half century
Don't give
already.
up. Don't give up the year.
Half century.
Yeah, since we're
Okay.
teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. And stay healthy, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Not like from a virtual, but physically.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can hug each other.
I
Like
know.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hugging.
Yeah. Not like
Distancing.
hugging with the elbow. Yeah.
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 Okay.
All right. Say hello to your wife and
Sure.
say hello to your child, and and I really appreciate you and thank you so
Sure.
much.
Say hi to John and Sean.
I will. I will. Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Bye, Songkao. Bye, Songkao.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.